Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're giving you our start-sit analysis for the Week 2 slate of NFL games. We're here to help you make all the right decisions on who you should keep in your lineup. Let's start this fantasy football podcast right meow.
Hit that drop. Hello and welcome to the Fantasy Football Upside. I am Justin and that is Kyle. Thanks for dropping by our Fantasy Football podcast and YouTube channel. We are so pumped you are here. Super thrilled that football is back, baby. So today we are giving you the first half of the start-sit questions for Sunday and Monday of Week 2 of this NFL season. So settle in. What do you got, Kyle?
Hey, we're going to be here all season, guys. We're going to try to get you that championship, so make sure you hit that subscribe button as well as the bell so that you're notified every time we upload the podcast. And so we're moving on here to Week 2, but before we do that, we already had the waiver episode, so make sure that you check that out if you want to see if there's anybody still hanging around on the waiver wire in your league that you might be interested in. We'll go ahead and we'll throw that in the top here of the screen, but also make sure you run to your waiver wire and see who got dropped. Yeah. Sometimes there's a little bit of gold on the waiver wire that got dropped because somebody makes a mistake. So, their misfortune is your gain. All right. So also let us know your specific start-sit questions. You can just throw those down in the comments, who to start over who, that sort of thing. Let's dive in headfirst into the shallow end, and let's get started here with Jacksonville at Tennessee. I'll take the Jaguars here, Justin. And I've got Minshew as a start. I had noted, hope that you maybe have a better option. But I think he's actually a pretty solid start this week. I don't think it's going to be the greatest thing ever. He's almost like he's almost streamer value, but he is held in a lot of leagues. So I don't know about that. I am starting James Robinson this week. I think that he is the clear lead back. He got 100% of the carries on that team. He's the only back in the league that did. And it's not as though he got a full snap share. Chris Thompson was on the field. He had 12 targets in the game or 12 snaps, and he had several targets in the game. They just didn't hand him the ball. So I don't know. I think Robinson is a solid start. DJ Chark is a solid start. Beyond that, I don't have anybody else. D.D. Westbrook is still hurt. Laviska Shenault's popping up on my radar. Keelan Cole, I'm kind of keeping my eye on him.
Keep an eye on those two. Yeah, keep an eye on those two. Yeah, I was kind of hoping that the artist formerly known as Tyler Eifert would be used a little bit, but his name only came up once, and that was because he threw a block, which I didn't know he knew how to do that. But
you sure he didn't have a joint dislocate in the process? I mean, that man has
his back
been
out
very
throwing
unlucky.
A block.
Yeah. He dislocated his foot one time, dislocated his elbow another time. Yeah, his whole right side it bends the wrong direction.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and talk about the Tennessee Titans, and I'm not starting Ryan Tannehill. You are going to go ahead and start Derrick Henry because if you play fantasy football and you have him,
I guess
you're going to start him.
Yeah, I guess.
I'm still going to start A.J. Brown. A little bit of a slight dud that first week. He did have 8 targets I think he had 8 catches, but it's it's 8 targets, very few yards. Corey Davis actually had a great game, but they're actually both, A.J. Brown and Corey Davis are kind of hobbling just a little bit. A.J. Brown with the knee injury and Corey Davis hamstring injury. I mean, this is what's coming out of camp right now. This is what they're saying. I mean, this could have been a Monday night game. Let's rest up the guys the first practice back. Other than that, I do have Jonnu Smith as a start as well. I think Jonnu Smith is going to be one of those ones where if you waited on tight end and picked him up, I think you're going to be happy for most of the season.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, so up next we have Carolina Panthers at Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Kyle, you have the Panthers. Go ahead and hit me with it.
Sure. I'm sitting Teddy Bridgewater, but I'm starting Christian McCaffrey and Robbie Anderson.
Really? Christian McCaffrey?
Yeah, imagine that, right? I don't know. Some guy named Christian McCaffrey? Christian McCaffrey, DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson. I'm actually going to start Robbie Anderson.
Okay.
I think just because if you could put him in the flex, if you're in a multi-flex league, then I'm doing it. But I don't know. DJ Moore disappeared. Maybe there's something to that with this new QB.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but that's it. I'm not starting anybody else on there. You got anything for me? And talk
Not on
about Tampa Bay.
Yeah,
Not on
not on
Carolina.
Carolina, man. You basically hit on everything.
Yep.
All right, so for Tampa Bay, I'm still going to start Tom Brady, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that you probably drafted him, and if you're like me, you only have one QB, and not
I'm
quite
fading him.
ready.
I'm
Yeah,
fading him this week.
it's a smart fade, really, because it was not sharp, and maybe just another week of practice and getting under the belt, maybe that'll be a little bit better. But Ronald Jones, he looked really good on the touches that he had. It's just you have this guy named Leonard Fournette there as well. So I think they're both startable as a flex. That's where I would be comfortable with both of them in a flex role. So
the concern is volume. It's just volume.
That's the biggest concern because they both look pretty. I mean, Leonard Fournette, I don't know. It looked like what you saw back in Jacksonville. But Mike Evans is a start. He's still limited in practice with a hamstring issue, but Chris Godwin's a definite start. Scotty Miller's a
wait, but Chris Godwin is in the protocol.
My bad. Yeah,
so
that's right.
He's a start if he clears the protocol.
Yes,
he is not a start if he doesn't, obviously, because he's injured
Yes.
and you should have him on your bench.
Thanks for calling me out on that one.
But definitely watch out.
That.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Scotty Miller is a sit for now, but hell, if both of those guys for some reason are out, Scotty Miller, come on down.
Yeah.
And then the whole tight end room, I'm going to go ahead and sit everybody.
Yep. Yeah. I don't know what's going on there, and I'm not sure that it's going to be figured out. Bruce Arians he's not happy. He's not happy with the way things are going. Let's move on here to Denver at Pittsburgh. Let's talk about the Broncos first here. I'm starting Melvin Gordon. I'm sitting Phillip Lindsay. He's got turf toe. He's likely to miss a few weeks. So that does bring Royce Freeman into the discussion, believe it or not, a little bit, but he is still a sit for me. At wide receiver, right now I'm sitting Cortland Sutton. He is back at practice. He's limited, but the injury he has, I think he separated an AC joint. And that's actually a really slow recovery usually. So while he is back and limited, I would expect that he's going to be very, very limited in usage if he starts at all or if he plays at all. So I would go after Jerry Jeudy. Like right now, Jerry Jeudy, he's a possible buy low candidate as well because of the drops that he had last week. But you should ignore the drops and you should be willing to start him if you have him and don't trade him away because he's going to be super valuable down the stretch. The only other start I have is Noah Fant, but I would be a little cautious here. This is a tough start. So
yeah, absolutely. And then the Jerry Jeudy one, man, the drops keep following him around. That's one of the things coming out of Alabama. But I remember a couple of them I saw. For the Steelers, I'm going to start Ben Roethlisberger. I don't think there's really a reason not to right now. Denver's defense is really injured with Von Miller out and Bradley Chubb still coming back. He played, but I didn't really see him flash at all. James Conner, he's a start if he plays.
Yeah.
But there's no guarantee that he's going to play. It's one of those things where Mike Tomlin loves to have a workhorse back. I mean, that's what he keeps saying. So if he has one that's healthy, that's who he's going to play that week. Yeah. So if James Conner's out, come on in Benny Snell. And we all saw what he could do if he's given the role. He played really well week one, so he's a must start.
Well, and basically now we know exactly what the hierarchy is. It is what we said it was going to be, which was that Anthony McFarland is going to have an opportunity. He didn't show up at all, but he's going to have an opportunity regardless of who's starting. But that Benny Snell is James Conner's actual backup.
Yep. And then the wide receivers, Juju Smith-Schuster, Deontay Johnson are starts. And then that's all I got for the Steelers. Nothing on the tight end room or anything like that.
I kind of like Eric Ebron this week. I think that this defense that they're facing is very mediocre against
he got one target last week. That's the only thing.
Yeah, I mean, you're either going with Vance McDonald or Eric Ebron. I think that one of them, that's the issue. Who do you start? You know, Roethlisberger likes Vance McDonald. So
All right. Next up, we have the Rams at the Philadelphia Eagles. Why don't you go ahead and hit me with the Rams first?
Okay, so I'm going to give you my starts. That's Malcolm Brown.
Yep.
Robert Woods.
Yep.
Cooper Kupp and Tyler Higbee. That's it. I'm not starting anybody else there. I'm not starting Goff, and not starting Everett. Not starting Cam Akers. Leaving it. That's it.
Keep your eye on Van Jefferson again.
Yeah, got to keep looking, keep watching.
Keep watching that one.
Philadelphia's defense is okay. The problem is that, really this is going to turn into, I think, a shootout if Philadelphia can actually keep up. So
and we'll see.
Yeah.
So for me, for Philadelphia, Carson Wentz is a start. Miles Sanders is a start. He's practicing fully now, so I guess he's back from the hamstring issue.
For now.
For now.
Yeah.
We all know when it comes to running backs and hamstring injuries, those like to linger around. And then for the wide receivers, I will go ahead and start Deshaun Jackson. I mean, he's been on a snap count like that week 1, and they kind of mentioned that. So I would like him as a wide receiver 3 or flex if for some reason you've had injuries at other places in wide receiver in your starting lineup. Jalen Reagor's a sit. It's still too early. Coming back from the shoulder injury. And then Zach Ertz and Dallas Goedert are starts.
Yeah.
We may be fading one of these because the Rams aren't that bad against tight ends defensively. So that's who I have for Philadelphia, man.
All right. Let's see here. We've got San Fran at the Jets.
Yep.
All right. So the 49ers, dude, this is not good. I'm starting Raheem Mostert and Kittle. And that's it.
If Kittle plays.
And that's if Kittle plays. Kittle is now limited, right?
Yeah.
So unlike Russ Wilson, right? Who's unlimited. Oh, Jesus.
Man.
Yeah, I hate that. I shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry. I'm going to cut that out. Probably
No, you're
not.
No, you're not.
You guys hate watch us. That's what it is. But,
I hate watch that video.
It's possible.
Jeez.
It is entirely possible that out of this crew, if Kittle is not healthy, the only start is Mostert. It isn't. I think you can watch McKinnon. You could watch McKinnon and keep your eye on him, but I'm not starting him. So
we talked about this. If for some reason Kittle is hurt, or I mean, like it doesn't play or anything like that, Jordan Reed is maybe a little sexy DFS pick.
Maybe,
like daily fantasy, but that's about it.
Yeah,
so.
only because Adam Gase is still the coach in New York.
And that's my little segue into the Jets here. Sit.
I'm looking. Yeah.
Start Jamison Crowder, but guess what?
It is.
He's limited in practice with the hamstring. Denzel Mims was placed on the IR.
Oh wait, I see one more start.
Oh, that's you do. I don't even see
all
that.
the way down.
Oh,
keep going.
Keep going.
Oh,
there it is.
There it is. Yeah.
Sorry, it's all down my list of all these sits here. Chris Herndon is a start, but I would only do that if Crowder is out. So otherwise, sit unless you have
it's really one
nothing
start
else at tight end. So no, you go down the running backs. You just don't know what's going to happen because Le'Veon Bell is out. Frank Gore is old. Michael Pirine was out last week. Josh Adams and Kalen Ballage is around still. I mean, he was signed after getting cut from the Dolphins after that failed trade.
People were out there spending like 30+% of their fab budgets to pick up Frank Gore.
No,
don't do that.
Adam Gase does love Frank Gore, but that's just not smart spending.
But
not at all.
But
don't be that guy. Don't be that guy.
Don't do it.
Be that guy.
All right. Up next, we have the Buffalo Bills at Miami Dolphins. Go ahead and hit me with the Bills, Kyle.
All right. So I am starting Josh Allen. I know that we aren't a fan of him, but I think you start him there. And I have Singletary starting as well, only in a flex and only if you really have to. And honestly, if you drafted Devin Singletary, the odds are that you probably are planning on starting him in your flex anyway. So that's okay. With gritted teeth, I'm starting Stephon Diggs. But John Brown, I'm starting in PPR, absolutely. And just I want to note, week 1, so far we're right. That Stephon Diggs is wide receiver 2 to John Brown in this offense in fantasy football.
I know it's early, but we're going to keep track of this.
We're going to keep track of that
throughout this one because I think we said it on
more targets,
here.
more catches, less yards, but more TDs, but not by much less yards.
Yep,
he was only 16 yards less. All right, so what do you have for the Dolphins? I don't have any other starts in that offense.
You're good. For the Dolphins, Jordan Howard is a start, but only in the flex, man. Look for better options as a flex if you can. He barely got any kind of workload. He did get that goal line work, so that's something to look at, but that's about it for Jordan Howard. Myles Gaskin came out of nowhere. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, I thought it was Matt Breida was the backup, and Matt Breida was going to be really big, and he got nothing.
I saw a tweet where somebody in someone's league spent $210 out of a $250 fab budget
on Myles
Gaskin.
Wow.
And the thing is that the person who had done that saw the tweet and responded, and it was not good. It was not good.
Well, I mean, he did get a good amount of work, but I mean, he's a nice stash player. Like, hopefully, if you're watching this and you look on your, in your league right now, you're like, oh, Myles Gaskin is available, and let's say I could drop somebody like a Matt Breida, then that would be smart. Do that. Go for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But for wide receivers, Devontae Parker, he's still a start. I would like to be in a wide receiver 3 or even a flex. One, he's coming back from the hamstring pull, and then also he's going to have a tough matchup against Tre'Davious White. So that's why I would fade him a little bit.
I've got him on my roster in our league, and I'm actually sitting him this week. Yeah, that's my plan as of right now. I mean, assuming that Mike Evans is playable.
It's hard. There's a few things going against him right now.
Yep.
That's for sure. That's all I have right now. Gesicki kind of failed a little bit week 1, so hopefully you have another option.
He'll bounce back. He will. It'll happen. It'll be okay. Yep. All right, so Minnesota at Indianapolis. The Vikings. Kirk Cousins is a sit, but he's a streaming option this week. Dalvin Cook is a start. He's a stud. You got to start him. Adam Thielen. Starting him, dude's going to get targets like crazy, right? Who else are they going to throw to? BC Johnson was the only other guy getting targets on that offense. And that's pretty much it. They didn't target their tight ends. I mean, they only ran like 48 plays against the Packers, if I remember. So it wasn't that many. Yeah. I mean, the Packers just had the ball all day. So that's all I've got on them. But we already knew that going into the season, that basically there were 3 playable players on that team and 2 of them regularly. So,
yeah. So for my Colts, Phillip Rivers is a sit. He's a possible little streamer.
Yeah.
Possible little streamer action if you need to. Jonathan Taylor is a start.
I think you're going to be surprised. I think that Phillip Rivers, this is one of those weeks where he's going to have a game.
I think so.
I do. But look, he's not on your roster. He's probably not on anybody's roster. So, like, if you're picking him up, it is a stream.
Are there
QBs?
Yeah.
Nobody right now.
Yeah, so there's really, I mean,
unless it's too early for streaming QBs, unless you're just straight up streaming QBs.
Yeah, exactly. If you were in 0 QB draft strategy.
Legit, 0 QB.
Legit. Jonathan Taylor is a start. Same with Nyheim Hines, and I would prefer in just a PPR because I think Jonathan Taylor's going to start to get a little bit more workload. Sorry, Marlon Mack, man, that's a tough break for you, man. So if you haven't heard, Achilles injury, out for the year, so go ahead and drop him. Wide receiver room, T.Y. Hilton's a start, man. He is pissed off right now for his 2 drops last week, and I would be too. Paris Campbell's also another start. We like Paris Campbell. He really came out and proved everybody right whenever it was coming out of camp. He was having the best training camp, and he was one of the best wide receivers there, so even better than T.Y. That's what a lot of people were saying, so that's all I got for my Colts.
All right, we're going to Detroit at Green Bay. What do you have on the Lions here, Justin?
So for the Lions, Matthew Stafford is a start. I'd like to see maybe a little bit more yards out of him. I was kind of shocked by the lack of yards for him last week, but
I don't know, man. Captain Caveman's coaching.
Man.
Yep.
That's true, man. That's true. Sorry, you just got me in a bad mood. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
You just got me in a bad mood. Kerryon Johnson is a sit, and go ahead and drop him.
Yep.
Just go ahead and drop him.
He's done.
Adrian Peterson, of course, he is the one that's going to be taken over. He's a start in a flex. If you're really hurting, go ahead and start him in the flex. DeAndre Swift is still a sit right now. I think once he's fully healed, I think he is going to be the guy in this backfield. Kenny Golladay is he might be another game time decision. So start if he plays. Just wait as long as possible if you can. I think this is a 1:00 game. So it's probably is it?
Yep.
Okay, so
it's early game. I'm pretty sure it's early game.
It's an early game, so at least you have some options. You'll know before kickoff, of course. Marvin Jones is still a start, and then after that, T.J. Hawkinson. He's flirting with the starting possibilities now in the tight end ranks. So,
I mean, tight end's the position that got hurt the most this last week. So I think
tight
end and lineman got a lot of injuries this week. So.
There's one other guy I'm going to throw out there real quick. It's Quintez Cephas, and if for some reason Galladay does sit, I mean, he's a nice little desperation flex or wide receiver 3 if you need to. He got a lot of action in the slot, kind of taking over from Danny Amendola all of a sudden.
Yeah. All right, and then the Packers here. I'm looking at Aaron Rodgers as a start this week. I think that's a good option, a good alternative there. I'm starting Aaron Jones as well. I don't know that you can start anybody else. Maybe in desperation, you could start Jamal Williams. That's about it there in the running back category. Devontae Adams is a start. And in leagues that have multiple flex positions, I'm starting Marquez Valdez-Scantling. I think that he's the true wide receiver 2 on this team. I do think what you'll see is some back and forth with him and Alan Lazard. But I think that in the long run, MVS is the guy who's going to get it done for you because he's the guy he's the fastest wide receiver on that team. So he is the guy that they're trying to get down the field regularly. And he and Rodgers showed some great communication ability with jailbreak plays where the defense is caught offside and just it's all go. So I think they did a great job there. That's going to be it for today, guys. We'll hit up the rest of the matchups tomorrow. So maybe make sure you check back for that. I'm going to, like I said earlier, I'm going to link to our Thursday night and our waiver wire here on the screen. Make sure you hit that subscribe button as well as the bell so you're notified every time we upload the podcast. Thanks for being a fan of the Upside again, guys, and we will catch you next time.
See you guys.
Bye.